We're going to take a look at the model release that's just been announced by GW at Nova. I'm going to start off with the Terminators. This is the full kit that's going to be released separate to the Leviathan kit. So it looks like we're going to get more options on the Terminators. I mean, they're looking the big chunky boys again, which are pretty awesome. A couple of more dynamic poses that you can use. We're going to come with chain fists that's going to be supplied, so you've got the options of swapping them out. Apart from that, these are pretty much what we've seen so far. We've got the assault cannon, which we've seen plenty of. Again, power fists, not too bad. The sergeant's going to come in a slightly more dynamic pose, coming with his power sword. Looking pretty awesome. We do have the option further down where we're getting more options available to us. So you can have a power fist on the sergeant, so he's not just they're going to have to rock out with the power sword. So you can put a little bit more damage out there. There's going to be the cyclone missile launchers included in the box set, so you can start including them again for a little bit of additional firepower. And there's going to be additional heavy weapons you can use, such as this heavy flamer. Now, a heavy flamer isn't going to be the most beneficial weapon to use unless you are really up against T3 bodies with terrible saves. But it's always nice to have an option, especially in further editions where it might be a little bit more useful than it has for the last couple of editions. We do have a little note that they don't have options for the Assault Terminators yet. So you are really just stuck as more classical Terminators with power fists and stormbolters, with the option of a chain fist and a power sword on the sergeant, and you get your cyclone missile launchers as well. And the two heavy weapon options being the heavy flamer and the assault cannon. We were given the assault chaplain as well. Now from this angle, the posing is terrible. I'm not a big fan. From the waist down, the detail is really nice. I like how it looks. It's got all the things you'd expect on a chaplain. It's got the tactical rock, but he's also on a bit of a tactical mound, which isn't too bad. Stormbolt looks awesome. The Crucix looks cool. Just the pose and this part here, I'm not a big fan of. The chest. I guess they're trying to mimic it being a rib cage. I'm just not a fan of how it looks. The skull mask, again, not that much of a fan. And this just seems... It seems like it's more of an old metal model where there's limitations of what they can do rather than what they can do in 2023. From the other angles, it doesn't look too bad. You've got the option of the Storm Shield, the Relic Storm Shield, which looks pretty cool, quite similar to the one on the Blade Card Veterans. From this side, he does look a little bit more dynamic, but just that front pose looks very, very stiff. We're going to get the Terminator Captain as well. He's going to be released as an individual, so you're not relying on going to the Leviathan box set. Again, looks pretty similar to what he has been revealed in the past. So you've got your Stormbolter and your power sword, your Relic power sword. So nothing too different there. So he can also come with a Relic Fist. So you've got a couple of different options where you can equip him. There's another example of him here. So he's equipped here with a Power Fist, and as you can see, can have a slightly different pose to an extent, but he is kind of tied into the fact that his body can only go in this direction and his legs go in this direction. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room with the arms, but not too much. So you can swap out his Stormbolter for additional sidearms. Next up, we have the Jump Pack Intercessors. So these have been coming for a long while, really. We've been waiting for these to come since 8th edition. They probably should have landed. Now, we do have to mention they are literally just assault intercessors with jump packs. There's not many options you can give them. So all it does is make you slightly faster on the battlefield. But taking a look at them, they've added a little bit more detail on the legs, a couple of additional ammo packs, and the gun holsters and that. So they've got a little bit more going on. Poses are quite dynamic. They don't have the flight stands, which is quite good because I've always thought they look terrible and easily break. So there's some tactical rocks used to make them look like they're jumping off the ground or just landing, which I quite like the look of. The jump packs are slightly different to the Gravis jump packs, but as you'd expect, they need a different design really because they're transporting a lighter model. So they could just come with the heavy bolt pistol and the chainsaw. The sergeant can have a plasma pistol. I believe he can also have a flame pistol as well, but you're probably never going to give him that. And he can come equipped with a power sword or a power fist, I believe. So again, he looked pretty similar. The only thing he's got is a slightly different helmet, and he's got the little tabard thing here. But the rest of him is pretty much identical to the other models. There's not really much additional detail to him, as you'd expect. They've just got him standing slightly higher. Some quite dynamic poses which are going on, which is quite nice rather than them all just standing there pretty stationary. All in all, I like the look of these guys. They look really cool. I'll definitely be picking some up. Whether they be getting used that often depends on exactly what the rules are going to look like. Now, we do know from the further information that there are options you can give. Again, there's the hand flame and plasma pistol, power fist on the sergeant, and there should be the option of you can give 1 in 5 of the ordinary Marines a plasma pistol as well. So you can rock out with 2 in the squad, which isn't too bad. You can see they've flipped the image to try and make it look like it's different poses, but as you can see, it is really just the same pose, same tactical rock, but you can move around with the arms a little bit to make them look a little bit more individual rather than the same as everyone else, but you are pretty much stuck with how this body looks on this sprue. We're getting a captain with a jump pack as well, because if you've got jump pack Marines, well, you've got to have someone that can lead them as well. So he's coming in with a very chunky looking body. He's quite dynamic looking, which is quite cool. He's got all the extra detail. He's got a cape, which, you know, there might be a little bit of tangling in the jetpack. Probably not the wisest of decisions. He's got the extra detailed shoulder pad and helmets, which are quite cool. He's looking very Ultramarines at the moment, so hopefully there's a couple of things you can do to make him look slightly less so. He comes in with the chainsword and a bolt pistol. There are further options for him when you go further down. You can give him a hand flamer. I don't think anyone's really going to give him that. And a power fist. There should be some further options you can give him, such as the relic blade and a chain fist. But you are just stuck with a bolt pistol, plasma fist, or hand flamer. Again, like the other models, the core of the model can't really be changed. He's stuck exactly how he is. But the movement of the arms and the heads, which make them stand out a little bit more. He comes on a bigger tactical rock, so he's going to stand above the other guys, which kind of makes sense because you want them to be done by height, really, don't you? You want the captain to be this tall, the sergeant this tall, and the other guys coming down like a step. So you can easily distinguish who's who just by the height alone. Next up, we have the full release for the Stern Guard. These again come in the Leviathan box set, and there's a couple of extra options that they've thrown in here. We've got this flamer, which wasn't included in the box set and isn't on the data card as well. We've not been given any information about exactly what this is going to do. It's not a combi bolter, and it's not an ordinary flamer because it's got the 2 options on it, and it's not a heavy flamer, so we've not been given any information of exactly how this is going to operate. You've got the normal bolt rifle that they can take, which is a little bit souped up in compared to the Intercessor one. Standard combi weapon, doesn't really matter what the combi part is because they all do exactly the same thing. And then we've got the Sergeant here who can come equipped with a chainsword and other melee options now, which is quite good because On the current data card, he can't be equipped with anything different at all. And he comes with a standard as well. It'll be interesting to see if this standard is an optional upgrade or just a built-in upgrade where it actually has an additional ability attached to it, or if it's just there for aesthetics. So the Sergeant can come with different options. I don't know why you'd give him a bolt pistol when he's been shown up here carrying a melee weapon and a bolt rifle, so you're going to keep him with a bolt rifle at the very least. He comes with a power fist. Again, the standard combi weapon that you can give him. Or one of the veterans can now upgrade. Oh, they already had a. That's where it is. It's a pyro cannon. So it would be like the pyroblasters for the Infernus squad. Just a heavier version of that. Well, they come in at strength 4, 0 AP. So it would be quite nice for this to be possibly strength 6 minus 1 AP. If it's not got any AP attached to it, it's probably a dead on arrival. So your sergeant can have a chain sword, power fist, or power sword. Disappointing that you can't have something like a thunder hammer, which would look quite cool on the models, but it's better than what you previously had, which was just the same as everyone else. It'd be quite nice to see that they can punch a little bit harder in combat, especially since as standard they come with substantially more attacks than a standard intercessor. So this is going to give them a little bit more flexibility and just allow them to be a bit of a melee threat as well, rather than just an elite infantry sniping unit. We finally got the scouts, which are just essentially the neophytes from the Black Templars. So they're going to come with a variety of different weapons by the looks of it. So you've got the sergeant here with the chainsaw and his bolt pistol. They've got the stripped down armors where they've basically got a lighter version of Space Marine armor. The pants look a bit daft. It's like what's holding the knee pad in place, and it just looks a bit odd, shall we say. But if you do paint it in a different scheme, like the Raven Guard scheme looks quite good because the pants are grey with a black armor. We'll see that later on, so they look much better than this current bony, creamy colour with the blue. It doesn't really go that well. We've got a sergeant with a nice little beard there, which is quite cool. Now, as you can see, it's like, here's some more options. Again, he comes with the bolt pistol, but he does have a combat blade as well. And now we've got this bolter here. It looks kind of like a shotgun bolter. Now, the scouts could previously take shotguns, so it'd be interesting if that's baked into the data card. These guys have got the standard bolt guns, so they don't have bolt rifles, which kind of makes sense because Primaris Marines are quite bigger than them. So it makes sense for them to have a bolt gun, because there'd be more of them around anyway, and you don't want to be your scouts losing your good weapons. So here's it in the Raven Guard colours. As you can see, the pants don't look anywhere near as bad. It blends in a little bit more. So they can come with the grapple launchers with like the Reavers can. So any vertical movement over a terrain doesn't affect you, which is quite handy. So we've got the options here. So they come with bolt guns, shotguns, pistols and combat knives. And then there's some additional weapons you can take, such as the heavy bolter, there's a missile launcher. All these are firstborn variants. And then you've got the sniper with the camel cloak and the sniper rifle. They've not really revealed how many of the unit can take these. I'm guessing in a squad of 5 it's one of each of these, or maybe a sniper rifle and one of these. But we'll find that later on when they release more information.
Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.